You've got a receipt there being passed out to you. $1,430, I think, or something like that. $1,422.30, is that right?
Yeah, $1,422.30, yes.
Okay. That's what it cost us, and we went ahead, we bought a little more expensive one than we could have got away with, but with this one we have local support. This is from a local company. They're out of Texarkana, and they pledged to make sure they work with us to keep this thing current.
So you have your inventory coded so that it handles not only alcohol but tobacco products as well?
Yes, absolutely.
That includes dip, skulls, snaps, all that way?
All tobacco products. So they're all set for 18. All alcohol is set for 21. And it is set in there. It is an operation. It does work very efficiently, very easy, very simple. Nothing to it. Just run that driver's license through there. So it is a good thing. Now, I also have here the profit and loss. Unfortunately, I only have one copy. I believe that's real prevalent that. We did mail it, but I'm sure you didn't get it because we couldn't get it until
That's okay. Well, now just pass it around, review that, and you don't need to discuss those figures in business.
And if you'll notice on this, it actually comes out, I told you it was about 40%. I figured at least 40. It actually comes out to be 37.86%. But there is an error in this. Some way our computer or programming it or whatever, our tobacco sales jumped from around $1,900 a month to the last 3 months of $13,000. Well, that's not true. So if you took that off of the grand sales, then we would be well over the 40% of our tobacco, our beer and our alcohol of our inside sales. So we have done, that. We've had 2 meetings. Joe had a meeting with everybody. I had a meeting with everybody. We have each spoken to each employee one-on-one. And so, we told them, we said, if this happens again, they will take our license if we keep it this time, and you will all be out of a job because we'll close. So hopefully they understand just how serious this is on a personal basis, not to mention that we emphasize to them, we look like criminals. We're standing up here in front of you guys and the public like we're condoning selling alcohol to kids, and the furthest thing from the truth. So, I don't appreciate being made out to look like a criminal, but my employees did it to me. So the more I thought about it, the angrier I got about it. So we're going to stay on their butts.
They've all been trained on this new equipment that we've had installed. About 3 days ago, I think, where I made sure the manager, I was there after the meeting I had, that every employee, I called in a mandatory meeting, sorry about my voice, guys. They made sure every employee was trained to the fullest on this here, and we'll be having ongoing, continuing education on this equipment. If there's any update available to us to put on this machine.
All right, Mr. Jefferson.
How many cash registers do you have in your store, sir?
We have 2.
And both of them are tied to that system?
No, sir. Just the one new register. You can't tie another register to it.
Okay.
You have to have a computer to do that, to tie them in. But the other cash register is not even plugged in. We don't even use it anymore. As a matter of fact, it's probably already gone from there because I anticipated that question. And so it should be gone from there.
Okay.
One register. Slow down the sales.
Operating everything?
Sir?
Just one register, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Thibodeau.
Does this have a scanner or is this put in by hand?
It's both ways. It has a scanner and put it in by hand.
So you could override it. Someone could override so somebody bought a 6-pack of beer, they could override it, put it in for food, because it doesn't have to be scanned.
That's correct. There's no way that you can shut off the manual part of it. He said that the fellow that set it up for us, there's just no way. You've got to have the manual in case something doesn't scan. If you cut off the manual, you just...
But there you have an employee intentionally trying to break the law.
That's right. Yes, sir. That's an intentional act, which...
And they need to be fired anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Lynch?
My question was answered.
Mr. Lynn?
I just want to pass a scenario. So a 70-year-old gentleman comes in, obviously 70 years old, and wants to purchase beer. It is going to demand that you swipe his ID.
Yes, sir, that is correct. Either you have to swipe it or you have to key his date of birth in. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It must be put in there.
And so you can manually key it in?
Yes, sir.
Like what he just said. Other than manually keying in the wrong date, is it possible to bypass it any other way?
Not that I'm aware of. I guess you could key it in as grocery instead of liquor or beer, like the deputy said that day here, I guess.
Yep.
I don't see why not, do the same thing.
Pretty much anything, you know, that human makes, there's a flaw, error, and anything can be, I don't care what it is.
Eventually, your inventory will get out of whack, and you'll realize you've got a problem with someone if that
If you
happens.
notice our sales there, you see we've got it itemized. And we've got a heck of a good bookkeeper, and, you know, we're on top of it on a weekly basis, so.
Are you considering putting this into your other store? Don't you have more than one?
Sir, yeah. I have one. We own the Triangle together, but I own one myself up in Ida. Yes, I've already told the fellow that he orders these one at a time. I told him, I said, I have to have this before Monday. This was middle of last week. He said, well, there's no way. I said, well, we got to make a way. I've got to have one in place. So he brought me a loaner, one that they had repaired, and he got it fixed and brought it to us and put it in. And then ours comes in, I think, tomorrow. Tuesday or Wednesday, one, too. But I told them that at that time, I said, hey, you know, you might as well order two, because I'm going to put one in my store also. So I think it's a great thing. I mean, you know, yeah, it can be bypassed, but it makes it harder, and it's with intent then. It's not just stupidity, then it's...
Mr. Lynch?
I'm not sure what the motion will be today, but I guess I would just like to see, and I know there'll probably be an increase in liquor sales for the holidays, but I would just like to get a usage report on this new system, maybe quarterly, just so we can see if it's consistent with...
And actually, every day, they can print out a thing of how many times the thing was swiped through there.
Right, but
Every day.
It's okay, that's not a formal request. We'll determine exactly what you'll need to provide us
I'm
from
saying
here on
I
out.
would, you know, just to make sure that it's not being abused, you know, and that...
We could gladly send y'all a copy of the Z-tape, you know, on a weekly, monthly, whatever.
Once again, that's a little premature. We'll let you know what we require.
Because if there's a way to bypass it, I guess, you know, compliance is what we're trying to get to.
Absolutely,
And we don't want to put you out of business, but again, with the number of incidents, I'm not really interested in the slap on the wrist, you know, type situation, but I do want to make sure that the system that, you know, you've invested in is working, so that we're not here, you know, taking more drastic measures in the future. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Gentlemen, you may have a seat. Sheriff Prater? Well, you have anything? Now or forever. You've heard what they had to say. I'd just like to see what you think about it now, please. Your opinion is important to us.
I appreciate what they've gone through, but it's going to take the employees doing what they're told to do, or it can be gotten around. The employees were told to check IDs before, and 7 times they didn't do it. And I know if I had a deputy, if I had all of a sudden 7 deputies were out there either stealing or hitting somebody with a flashlight or drinking on duty, and they were caught, people would be looking at me, because I'm supposed to have supervisors out there, the type of quality people I try to hire, the way I train them, so I'm held accountable. At some point, and this business is the business, the worst offender in Caddo Parish, and at some point, it reaches a point to where the owners, just like the sheriff, just like the owners of any business you might have, would have to be held accountable. I appreciate the system they put in, but the system is not fail-safe. The system is just a system. If an employee said run it through there, Well, that you can't sell beer and they're not there, that's the same employee that they said check the ID and subtract and see if they were able to buy, and they weren't doing that. So I don't know, I don't want to put them out of business. I mean, I like business too, I'm pro-business, but as I told you before, I'm pro-kids too. Kids are going to be drinking a lot around the holiday, just like adults. They're going to be trying to get alcohol. And we're going to set up a system whereby the commission is notified immediately with every time we run one of these, because the sheriff doesn't have any right, I don't have any ability to take a license away or to deny a license or anything. We're not in the licensing, we're not like Shreveport Police Department where I came from, where we could deny licenses and have to come to the council to approve them. This is a whole different, this is a different animal to commission. And so all I'm telling you as the sheriff is that this is an unsafe condition for our young people in Caddo Parish, and you're the ones that have the authority, and you're the ones that have the responsibility to do something about it. I've done my responsibility to bring it to you. That's all I can do, and I'll leave it up to y'all to figure it out from there. Thank you.
All right, just so that you will know, there's been some discussion, Sheriff, among some of us about getting with your department and developing a mechanism so that we don't have a situation get as out of hand as this one has before something's done about it in the future. Thank you. Commissioner Lynn?
That was it. I was just curious what mechanism was going to be in place if we would find out somebody has been cited once, twice, 3 times before it escalated to such a level. And that was all.
The mechanism that you come up with will be up to you all.
We certainly want your input. So many offenses, a certain amount of time, and then, you know, it's just automatic that we're going to hear it. So you have some direction, we know what's coming, and this is new ground for both of us.
Okay, we'll be sending you the results of every operation we do. You can take and put that in the file of each person when they come up for renewal the next time. If you can take an action, then we will notify you of the operations we run, and the trigger point will be up to you all.
We'd like to develop that trigger point with your cooperation.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Care to make a recommendation of any kind at this time? Nobody wants to make a recommendation?
What did Doug do? I'm just wondering where Doug went.
Okay. I recommend this. I don't want to make a statement, and I want everybody to get the opinion that, you know, we forgive and forget and all this, and so I kind of grew up, there was no second chances, you had one chance, but anyway, I'd like to recommend in lieu of the gentleman's effort that we place a 2-week suspension in our sale of alcohol, effective as soon as we can possibly institute that. Furthermore, with the cognizant that they're found guilty of one more violation within the next year, they'll automatically have a hearing and revoke their license. If I can get a second on that. Second. Commissioner Epperson.
I would like to make, if possible, if you would amend your motion to make that effective date, if possible, to implement the suspension effective the next Monday will be the 22nd of November, doing it for a 14-day period of time.
It's fine, I accept that amendment. Yes. Any discussion on that motion? All right. Let's vote on it, please. That passes. Gentlemen, I hope you can live with that. Do you understand what was done? Very good. I wish you the best of luck. Please adjourn.
Facilities, 5 minutes.